I'm curious, how is your perspective on what it means to be premier and lead government changed between, you know, opposition in the election to now 7 months in? Any sympathy for the BC premiers at all?
Well, you know, I think I always understood from the outside looking in to some extent that it's a tremendous amount of work, and I have not been disappointed in the fact that it is indeed a tremendous amount of work. And you know, one of the things that is interesting about being premier, of course, is that you are responsible for everything. And so, you know, it's the challenge is learning to go to sleep at night without always worrying about every piece that you're responsible for.
On the flip side, what's the biggest problem facing your government, I guess, going into 2016, and whatever that problem is, how do you plan to address it?
Well, I don't think of things as problems as much as challenges, you know, as I say, so I think we have to continue. This continues to be an issue. Again, you know, knowing that people are worried about their economic security going forward, that continues to be something that we as a government have to always be thinking about and working on, and that is will drive our decision making over the course of the next 12 months. We've also put into play some additional policy pieces, and so what we have to do now is really be focused on responsibly and rigorously implementing them as effectively and cleanly as possible. And so you know, the climate change policy is part of that. That's not the only thing. You know, we need to work on improving the performance of our healthcare system. We need to work on improving some of the issues that have concerned Albertans in our education system, and we just need to, as I said, you know, obviously move on just generally with the key elements of our platform that we've already laid out.
This fall, your government talked about a miscommunication on the farm safety legislation, of course, that sparked protest rallies and piles of petitions at the legislature, I guess. What are the political consequences of that miscommunication in your mind?
Well, I think the fact that we had the miscommunication, for which I take full responsibility, allowed a situation to occur where farm families spent some time worrying about the implications of our legislation on their ability to maintain their way of life and to maintain the viability of the family farm. We have just today, finally, been able to introduce the amendment, which I hope people will see now that it is included in law. That's the best way to undo the miscommunication that occurred, is to put in law the exemption with respect to and to clarify the application of this legislation, so that it reflects the intentions that we'd had but that we failed to communicate.